Say
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
We gotta do better at letting me know.
All right, we're live.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Long Island Breakfast Club show. We're going to start it off with a little Christmas song for you. Here we go. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock your night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle and a jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. I see you out there all singing along. That's it. Get in the Christmas spirit here. Come on. What a bright time. It's the right time to rock your night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle and a jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. You got it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. D'Amato. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday. I'm in the Christmas spirit this morning because, I don't know, just felt like I saw a lot of decorations around and everything's so nice. So I thought I'd dress Christmassy today. So I got my bling on and my red scarf. And I'm happy to be here today. Unfortunately, Greg is not here. So he'll be back soon. And he's just a busy guy. So he sends his regards. We have two terrific guests here today. I'll just start by an introduction. We have this wonderful gentleman here. And his name is Fred DiMenna. And he is acting in a very exclusive play with the Slayer Players Theater Company and reenacting the Christmas Eve from the Honeymooners. Is that right?
Yes. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas is the name of the episode. It was the 13th episode of the classic 39, which Honeymooner aficionados call the 39 episodes in 1955 and 56 that Jackie Gleason put on of the Honeymooners. And, you know, it's a timeless show. And for those of us who are of that, and it's funny because, you know, that show was on in 1955, but I wasn't even born in 1955, but in the 70s and 80s, we watched that show religiously. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, maybe not so much, but people don't know it, but we want to try to keep it alive.
Well, it's on. I just saw it the other night.
It's on.
Me and my wife still watch it religiously, even though we've seen them a million times.
I'm talking more about the younger generation. Yeah. It was 20 years old when we were watching it, 30 years old, and we were still watching it. Nowadays, everything has a much shorter lifespan, and everything is recycled very quickly, which... Yeah, I mean, it's good and it's bad, I think. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that the episode where they, at the end, came out of character?
Yes, that's the only episode where they break the so-called fourth wall.
Really? Yeah. What happens at the end, or you don't want to say?
If you're going to you are going to the show,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, then,
no. I think I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Suffice to say that Jackie, for the last about 30 seconds, breaks character to wish to bring the cast out and wish everybody.
Oh, that's
a Merry
nice. That's
Christmas.
always a
Very
nice
nice.
thing.
But it's the only episode of the 39 where they do
Right.
that. Although there are many flubs, and that's the fun thing about the show too. Again, the fans of the show are aware of all these little screw ups. You know, the two of them. He hated rehearsing.
Yes.
So, in fact, Audrey Meadows, who was Alice, tells a story of how when she started, she was like, "When are we going to rehearse?" And the week was going by, and the show was coming up, and Art Carney told her, there will be none. He's in the bar, He just got up there and ad-libbed because he was a funny person, as was Art Carney, and she was, going home in tears every night because she didn't know what she was going to do. But they got by with it. But the two of them, there's all kind of flubs, and that's what we do. We try to. This is not a spin-off or a take-off in any way, shape, or form. We are literally emulating the show.
Them, right.
Wow.
So when
great.
there's a flub or something is said wrong, or even the movements, Norton, hey, Ruffy boy, and, fixing the tie and this type of stuff. We're trying to coordinate all that with what they do. It's challenging because it's not just a matter of knowing your lines. You have to know the movements and whatnot.
Right.
But it's an attempt to really to pay homage to the show. We are not, trying to reinvent the wheel. And we have some shows coming up in the spring where we're going to do another one of their shows, and in conjunction with a show that I've written, what I consider to be the 40th episode. And that was a big challenge for me because my goal was, again, not to reinvent the wheel, but just to keep the humor, their same type of humor, and make the fans who come to see us think that could have been a legitimate 40th episode.
Wow.
So
Very,
I
very
hope you guys
interesting.
will come to that in the
Yes.
spring, and hopefully I will succeed in having done that.
Are
Wow,
you
that's
kidding?
great.
Of course we will. Yes, we will. Well, let's talk a little bit, and then we'll swing back about the View Grill. The View Grill is your partner ownership, right? Exactly.
Yeah, well, I kind of came into it. I'm not a restaurant person per se, but my wife, Janine, who I met in 1979, and we were friends for a year. We were girlfriend, boyfriend for 9 years, and we've been married ever since. She's by far the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. I love her.
Yeah. She, I've had an interesting life for the various things that I've done that required really a lot of my time and effort. I was a competitive bodybuilder, professional athlete.
Well,
for
I saw
20
that in your
years.
bio.
Yeah.
You were like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that about?
Well, I did that. That was kind of my first life, and then I decided to go back to school and study exercise physiology. I got my master's and PhD in that, including the PhD that I did in the UK. So I was away for 4 years for that. So throughout all of this stuff, where I was, again, very dedicated to one specific thing, Janine was very supportive of me. So now I try to give back, and I'm helping her. I'm not a restaurant person, but at the View, I do the event planning.
I
do
saw that,
the
yes.
payroll and the personnel stuff. And
Well, the personnel stuff's got to be tough. Today,
Yeah.
in today's
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
it's very hard to have personnel.
Mhm.
And what I heard in the restaurant industry, it's even harder.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
true?
In the last couple of years, it's gotten challenging. I
Yeah.
think people got used to not working and liked getting paid to not work. So now they maybe have a difficult time getting back in the habit of having to actually work to get paid like we always did.
Yeah, it's a shame because a lot of that, the kids today, they're not growing up with that ethic.
Yeah, don't get me started on that because I
No.
see, get off my lawn type of mentality. But a lot of that is what we do. In fact, with this, with the Classic TV Live that we're doing upcoming, we're doing a skit before the actual performance of the episode.
Before the actual ding.
Yeah, and that's going to star myself. And it's going to star Dr. Jim Belillo, and it's going to star my wife, Janine. She's
Oh, that's great.
She's done a little stuff in the past, but nothing.
Oh, I
of
can't
this-
wait to see that.
Of this magnitude. And I don't want to give too much away, but it has to do with two brothers, myself and this other person who's not my real brother, and just different outlooks on now versus then, and how it's very easy for those of us. I'm 60 years old, and it's very easy to romanticize about the past. I think we were all going to do it. If you're 20 now, in 40 years, you'll be romanticizing about now.
Yeah, that's very
what
true.
It becomes.
Right.
And perhaps I know another of my favorite shows from the 50s is The Twilight Zone.
Oh, that's a serious one.
And there's a great episode by the name of Walking Distance with Gig Young. And long story short, it's the theme of you can't go home again. And he does indeed go home again, and he runs into himself as a child, etc. And there's a couple other Twilight Zones.
We definitely have to sit down and talk. I'm a Twilight Zone buff.
You guys, you see this connection, really?
There's actually two other episodes. There's one where she was a film star, and now she's like living vicariously through her films. And there's another one where a guy is a toy designer, and he wants to go back. Bottom line, in all three of these, you could tell Serling has this yearning for the simpler times of our youth.
Really?
And I feel that way in real life. And my character in this skit we're going to do feels that way. And my brother is the exact opposite. He's very into now, and I don't see the beauty of now. And we play off each other, and then you'll see how it resolves. Because even myself feeling that way, I know that I am maybe trumping up the past a little bit and downplaying the present. I mean,
that's okay though.
We didn't have the internet then, and
exactly.
You're thinking, well, it was great then, yeah, but wouldn't it have been better with the internet? Well, in some ways, yeah, maybe in some ways,
no, because it's live there's nothing like live.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Time changes things, and we move on, and some things get better, and some things get worse.
Right, and some things stay the same.
Very well put.
Definitely.
Very few things stay the same.
As much as things change. Certain things things stay the same. Like maybe a person, they try to change, but still the other stuff's still around.
People stay the same. But I mean, like we were talking about before we went on the air. You were saying in the neighborhood you grew up in.
Oh yeah.
You knew all the families because the kids were out playing.
Right, exactly.
And now that you don't have the young kids in your neighborhood, you don't. And I said, no, it's probably, even if you had the young kids, you wouldn't.
Well, you're right about that.
Because the kids don't go out and play like we used to.
No, that's very true.
And it's maybe it's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. You might want to take that tact, but again, through the eyes of somebody who lived there, you do live then, you do, again, you romanticize about
and you miss it, so when I'm in a bad mood, I go back to my home. I go to Floral Park and I shop, and then I see everybody and I feel good.
He's actually reminding me of the episode on Twilight Zone, Kick the Can. He knows which one it is.
Kick the Can. What's that about?
They all become kids again.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. And Bob, with what you do, it's a great example of it.
Yes.
Because I don't know, music, we grew up, music was such a major thing, I mean, I was, we were predominantly into 70s music, rock, that was our thing. In the 80s, you kind of stayed into it. 90s, you got less into it. And I don't know, once the 2000s came, I've really become distanced from music. And it's alarming, but I just don't find it to be...
Well, in my show, I actually talk about that I call it Music, Love, and Memories. That's the name of the show. And I go even beyond the 70s, before that. Because today, a lot of our kids, the youth, they never even heard that music from the 50s.
They don't know the Beatles.
They never heard it.
That's very true.
So I really get a kick out of when there are young people in the audience, or I'm doing a private party and there's like somebody 25, and I start singing something from the late 50s, and they start to get into it.
Yeah.
And that's really where my enjoyment comes. Yeah. That they're listening to this and they're hearing it. And that's really what I get a kick out of.
See, when I say we were into music of the 70s, we were, but we were aware of the music of the 50s and the 40s because your parents were listening to it. And I have an interesting theory, but they're not now. And I have an interesting theory, and it's just my theory, but as it is now, there's a high degree of specialization within all of the various broadcast media that we have at our disposal. We didn't have that. We had 6 TV stations to choose from. Okay?
Exactly.
Now you've got the internet, you've got
streaming,
this, that, TV, 5,000 channels on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that would lend itself to the current generation being more diversified, because at any given time I can go on the internet and learn about World War II, learn about 40s music, learn about, the information compared to what we had. But it actually does the opposite, because of the fact that you have all this specialization. You could sequester yourself in one specific. Oh heck, you could go on Sirius Radio and maybe listen to just one group. Mm-hmm. We didn't have the ability to do that.
Right.
So we were watching TV, one of 6 channels. If there was nothing you really wanted to watch on, what did you do? You watched one of the 6 channels, okay? Exactly. Then the show was over and the next show came on. Well, you didn't have a remote control, flip over to the internet, blah, blah, blah. You would have to get up to change it. So maybe you just left the show on. I'm not interested in this show, but you just left it on. 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. Hey, wait a minute. It's an interesting show. Now you look back at my age, and this actually happened to me with a specific type of show that I was watching back then, and you find that watching that show profoundly influenced what you've become.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it took you out of your comfort zone. You wouldn't have thought to watch it, but you had really no choice because there wasn't that much available. Now there's so much available that they don't have to suffer that fate. And on account of that, they sequester themselves, and in doing so, they don't know about the Beatles, which we had no choice but to know about, even if we didn't necessarily like the 50s music or whatever the case may be.
Well, I think when it comes to the honeymooners, everybody loves them. And I'm hoping that we get the word out to everyone about these shows that are happening in 2 weeks. Yeah. So
what we're very proud of is
it's going to be at this great restaurant. So, why wouldn't you want to go? It's a great holiday thing to do.
We have assembled in time a pretty authentic set. That's we spent about $5,000-$6,000 so far on the set. Wow. The dresser is currently our weakness, and I'm working on that. I have a woman who will make me one that looks just like theirs.
Oh my goodness!
You'd be surprised, having never scrutinized the show like we do, at how unusual a lot of their stuff was. Like you would think you just go antique dresser and it would come up. They would have a plain one. Theirs has these curves to it, and the other drawers are recessed, and it's even 2 drawers on the top, 1. That's unusual. Even
the furniture is going to match. It's unbelievable.
We try. So the dresser right now is not good. I'll warn people. The our ice box is spot on because I've had it made. My cousin made that for me. Our stove is spot on. He made that for me. We bought a sink that looks really good, and of course the walls are good because that's what that's how we had those made. And it's just a matter of continuing. What the leaders of our group, we don't take any money out of the group. Yeah. So all the money we make, we channel back in to improve the product.
Right. Wow. Well, this is like fine dining, fine play. It is Friday, December 16th at the View Grill, which is an absolutely gorgeous restaurant on Laddingtown Road. And what is that town?
It's Glen Cove.
It's Glen Cove. Yeah. And then Saturday at 2. Correct? Not 12. I thought it was 12.
Yeah, no, it's at 2. These are dinner theater events. Right. So when we say at 8 and at 2, that would be when the buffet is served, a 3-course buffet, and then the show starts afterwards.
And I can tell you that the food is delicious because both myself, Bob, and Susan, and Greg, we've been there many times. It's decorated very nice. They have a beautiful bar. And we love your wife, Janine. She's
so in the interest of full disclosure, my wife, Janine, who is
the chef,
the person, she is the chef too. So,
yes, and she's the greatest. And my favorite meal there is the lobster.
Okay.
Because it is such a big plate, I get to take half home. Sometimes I pig out and eat the whole thing, but it's delicious, and everything is just...
Well, the night I entertained there, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to eat, of course.
No, I know, you didn't.
But my wife left there, and she said, that is the place we have to be going back to. she said it was one of the best.
And not only that, your wife makes fresh bread
Yeah.
for the table that night. Who does that?
Yeah, it's. I mean, she is old school. Again, this theme of old school. She really. It sounds corny, but it's true. Her grandmother. She came from an Italian family, and her father's mother, and both grandmothers cooked. But like Christmas Eve, the father's mother had this big gathering and a very large family, and lobsters and everything, and food was such an integral part of it. And really, that's how Janine approaches the restaurant. I mean, she is not there to make money per se. She's not there
Well,
to.
she's there as she
to
loves
run a
what she
business.
does.
She's
Yeah.
there literally to greet people as they come in,
Yes.
as you would if you had guests to your
Right.
home.
Absolutely. And it's that kind of a setting. And then if it wasn't for Susan Pinky, I never would have even known about this restaurant.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to help
word
you
of mouth.
promote it.
Word
and
of mouth helps.
we talk about it a lot here. And everybody out there, you have to come. The Breakfast Club is getting tables on the Saturday at 2. So if anyone wants to join us and sit with us, we're a lot of fun, aren't we, Bob?
Yes, very much.
So call
Very
me,
much so.
and I'll be working with Janine for the Saturday, but there also is Friday night.
Friday night. Yep.
If you'd rather go out at night, it's dark for me to drive at night. I'm getting old. So we're going Saturday. But it is a great night out. The food is delicious. The crowd is beautiful. And this is the main star. He's playing
Well,
Norton.
I've got to throw that over to probably Ralph Cramden.
Yes. And who is playing Ralph Cramden?
Ralph Cramden is played by Pat Marone.
Pat Marone. He's a friend of mine. He's a comedian. Who knew? I didn't realize that.
Pat is, let me tell you, Pat, and he's co-directing this with me also.
He's a doll. He plays here on the stage.
We are fans, and I mean going way back. We knew each other in a gym in the early 80s. Steve Mahalick's Mr. America's gym in Farmingdale.
Wow.
And in those days, anything that happened in that gym, there was a honeymooner's line that one of us would spit out. And of course, everybody knew what we were talking about. Now, I'm a college professor, and in my class, if something happens, somebody drops something, I'll leave it there, the cat will get it. And the people are going to look at you, the students.
They
are
don't
gonna
know
look
what
at you
you're
like,
talking about.
What are you talking about? And it's
They
like
probably think you're weird.
it's a it's a reflex, because back in the day when you were around all these people, and that's what the great thing about this show is too. It's all those types of people predominantly there. So everybody's on that same wavelength. And it's really
Definitely.
cool because you got all these Harvey, heaven forbid a guy named Harvey walks into the place. Oh, Harvey, I got a friend Shirley who's bigger
Well,
than you.
I got to think there were so many fans out there that are going to want to come.
So anyway, Pat is just it's a pleasure to work with Pat. He is so invested in the project.
Yes.
And he and I will sit there for hours on end watching the video and scrutinizing all of the movements. And we work really hard to get the coordination down between us. We have a very good chemistry that has been built through
Years. Right?
repetition. And he's just a pleasure to work with. He doesn't, I'm meticulous with it. So if somebody
It's not
puts
right,
in
it's
a
not right.
that where there shouldn't have been a that,
Right.
I'm like, wait a
No,
minute.
that's wrong.
And
Right.
if he wasn't, many people would say, well, what difference does it make? And it doesn't.
It doesn't, but it does to the director.
The
and-
people
yes,
sitting in the audience, because they're
Right.
not going to notice little things like that.
Right.
It means something to me.
exactly.
And it should mean something to all of us, because that's what we're trying to do. And he has never been, again, sometimes I'm just nitpicking. Pat, you're saying this wrong. You have to, and he has never, he may not agree, and then he will look to the video and see who's right, but he has never felt like, come on, you're nitpicking on this. He's never done it. He's just really invested in the project. And then our Alice is Eve Lepenko Ferrante. She's a local. She's a dermatologist, first off, in her real life. Pat is, of course, a chef and a comedian. And Eve is, she plays Alice, and, she's very invested in our community, Glen Cove, as is my wife, and they're involved in a lot of things around Glen Cove. They're movers and shakers when it comes to charity events and
Yes,
things
of
of that
course.
nature. So, and she was a city councilwoman too in the last term. So, we have some people who, we have real lives, real jobs.
Yeah, it
and
sounds
then,
like it's going to be terrific.
And then
yeah.
we do this.
So, everybody, viewgrill.com is where you can view the restaurant on the website. And Slayer, what is Slayer's?
Our website is www.slayerplayers.com.
Slayerplayers.com.
And you could purchase tickets there. We have a photo gallery. We have a video gallery up there. And we do, this Classic TV Live is a concept I came up with. And we did the Twilight Zone, too.
Wow.
In 2019, we did Twas the Night Before Christmas in conjunction with the Twilight Zone's A Night of the Meek.
Oh, yeah.
That's something.
And I played the Santa Claus, so I had the interesting distinction of playing Art Carney roles literally in a half hour, and then we had a 15-minute break, and then the next, and I had to go from a drunk Santa Claus to a, hey, Ruffy boy, goofy sewer worker. So we did that. So this Classic TV Live, we do want to do other shows possibly, but right now it's just focused on
well, I think that's how you're going to grow your audience.
Do you take this on the road at all, or?
Yeah, we plan it. Well, what I was going to say is we were formed by a woman who had a vision of having a murder mystery group, hence the name, the Slayer Players. And we did that for a couple of years, and that's good. We still do that. Mm-hmm. But we've become a little bit more diversified because we don't want to just pigeonhole ourselves.
Well, this is so different, Yeah,
this is different.
So much different because people could relate to it.
So we do murder mysteries now, but we do original murder mysteries. We write our own. Myself and Kevin Horton, who is Eve and Kevin Horton are the two people who, along with myself, make up the leadership council of the group. Mm-hmm. And Kevin and I do the writing, and we've written a couple murder mysteries specific for venues that we performed in. My Father's Place, the Rock Club in Raleigh.
Yes, that's a great place.
We did a Halloween show there that was specifically designed for My Father's Place with rock and roll themes. And
that's very good because people that go there all the time know everything that goes on. So.
Right. And then we've done we also wrote a show that was specific to a yacht club that Seacliff Yacht Club had us perform. Mm-hmm. And we did that there. So we want to take those shows on the road to other rock clubs, yacht clubs. The rock club one, I'm planning on modifying it for instead of it's about a rock star, but to make a long story short, we can make it an author, and then we could go libraries and things like that.
Right.
So we do want to take all this on the road, but a lot of this, I do a lot of this because everybody's busy. And
you do it alone, though, right?
Yeah,
that's the tough
Janine
part.
gives me a lot of help.
You need a PR lady like me.
I'm doing the producing, I'm doing the directing, I'm doing the PR, I'm doing the website.
It's not
doing
easy.
The books.
You can't do. One thing I learned: you can't do it all yourself.
No, I'm
because I do that too.
Yeah, I'm bad.
So I've learned how to kind of, what can I do and what can I do. The can't part, I get somebody to do it because you know what? My life is easier and it flows better.
Every time I delegate, they can't do it the way I want to do it.
Well, that's true. That's true. I know how that feels.
So then I say, let me do it, but then I don't have enough time to do it, so it never gets done.
Yes.
So, I don't know what the answer is.
Well, you could reach out to us anytime you want. We don't charge a lot of money.
All right. Yeah,
but anyway, your wife knows that. So, but today we have some people watching. We have Mariana Iaboni. I know she's going to love this show because...
Hi, Mariana.
Yeah, and we also have Susan, Jenny... Paul Lodicano, what are you thinking, Paul?
Hey, Paul.
He is in the filmmaking business, and I'm actually in two films with him.
Okay.
It just happened by accident, and I'm loving it.
Come on down and bring your camera, Paul.
And it's going to be in a series, and I'm playing an Italian mother of 4 sons that do not like me, and it's going to be called The Fontanas, and we already have 3 episodes done already.
So I didn't know you acted too.
It just happened by accident since I'm doing all this.
I'm going to bring a sign-up sheet here. We got a lot of new people.
Yes.
So
I'm always looking for new people.
Yes, well, if you ever need people, I supply them. Because the people that I interact with love this kind of thing. And it only really happened in the last 3 years since I volunteered at the film festivals. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like asshole buddies with Jerry Ferretti, filmmaker. Go figure. And it's such a great thing to do when you're mature and older.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's challenging, with what we do. All right, so for the honeymooners, it's a little different because we have to have people who look the part.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like a lot of these cover bands, Bob. I get a kick out of it because some of them look the part. and others don't, and it's like it's not the same if they don't
doesn't
look the
work.
part. But you can't blame the person, you know.
Right.
But I know with the honeymooners, we need people to look the part.
Yeah.
But with these other shows, we need a diversified
Well, like
group,
the Murder Mystery,
younger people
right.
and older
Mhm.
people, and it's hard to find the younger people because they're busy with stuff. And
Yeah, but we
it's-
do
it's
have a lot
tough.
of young ones too that come to us. So
Oh, that we need
you,
that.
you could always
We
reach
always
out.
need that, yeah.
So then we have this wonderful Mr. Bob Tomato who does it all.
Yeah.
We support him. We go to all his shows.
Yes, you do.
He's a big member of the Breakfast Club, the Long Island Breakfast Club. Lovely wife, Donna. What's her name? Her maiden name?
Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds, right? Debbie Reynolds. I said Donna. I'm thinking of Donna Reed.
I know.
Because she reminds me of a Donna Reed. The Donna Reed show. But, he's doing so many things. The first thing I want to talk about is Bat Boy. You did. I saw
What
the
an
pictures.
experience. What
We're
an
coming to the
experience.
next one. We just
Yes.
couldn't get a ride that night.
Well, right now, Ray Negron is down in Florida. They are actually catapulting a new show. It's called The Tryout.
Yes, I
And
saw
it's-
that on
It's
the
an
internet.
American Idol for sports.
Imagine
They're going
this.
to try out young people and give these people a chance to make it to the major leagues.
It's an unbelievable
So
idea.
it's unbelievable. I think
It's
it's
really,
I
they're
think
in
it's gonna
Florida
be-
now, right?
Yeah, they're doing it right now. I think it's going to be a huge hit, personally.
So how did you feel being George Steinbrenner?
So as I was saying before, the story was I sang "My Way" for Ray Ray Negron at an event, and as we know, Ray was the Bat Boy, and his life was turned around by George Steinbrenner. Because if you picture the Bronx in the '70s, it was gangs
Yes,
and stuff
yes.
like that. And Ray himself always talks about. He says, "We had 6 boys in my family. I'm the only one living." And I'm the only one that never went to jail. So it's a very inspirational story. So you really get from him how he loved George Steinbrenner. You get that, and it's so important to the story. But the other part of the story was he wrote the book, Bat Boy, A Yankee Miracle. Ray was with all of those Yankees back then, Billy Martin, Reggie Jackson, all of them. He saw everything that was going on when they said the Bronx was
Bronx
burning,
Zoo.
the
The
Bronx
Bronx
Zoo
Zoo.
and the Bronx is burning. He was there. The other night, I didn't even realize it when we did the play. He was in the dugout when Reggie Jackson hit his 3 home runs in the World Series. And he was the one who walked over to Reggie and said, "Reggie, you got to take a curtain call." And Reggie went and took the curtain call. It was and you see it on video. You actually see it.
Yeah.
But actually taking on this role, it's not a lot of lines or anything per se, but you got to really get into the character of George Steinbrenner, because it's little vignettes that he does. See, Ray actually talks, and then he says, "I'm going to show you now what really happened and how it really was."
Yeah,
And
which is even nicer because
really wonderful
Yeah,
actors.
it's even
I
nicer,
mean,
yes.
the cast, I can't name all of them because I don't want to miss anyone, but really talented people in this particular play. Really talented.
Yeah, and I've seen
singing.
it. I saw the first version, but
Yes.
I understand it's been 2 years, so it's much better now.
So Ray had this idea that at the end, the play ends with the death of Thurman Munson. He got killed in a plane crash at the age of 32. Very, very sad. And it's a eulogy going on at the end of the play. And I walk out as George Steinbrenner. I start to say a few words about Thurman and the Yankees. And then I go into the song My Way. But I changed the words around a little bit, like, Thurman did it his way. We did it our way. And then at the very end, in the song My Way, when it says, "I did it my way," those are the last words. Because the whole song I'm saying Thurman did it his way. But then I turn around and I go, "But I did it my way." And I walk away as George Steinbrenner.
Right. No,
So it was like a
great.
really great ending. Talented people. I was just in awe of the people. And plus, we were at the Yogi Berra Museum in New Jersey. I met Yogi's son, Larry. He was there, Larry Berra. Many people there. And Ray is such an inspiration. And the show is produced by Steve Vaccaro.
Yeah. Great
And
guy.
just a great experience all around. So now they're busy with this show, The Tryout. But there will be many more shows of Bat Boy coming in
Yes,
2023.
we're looking
So
forward
we'll
to
see.
it. But then we have this great restaurant, Mia's in Valley Stream.
Mia's of Valley Stream,
And we have
right?
a big thing coming up Friday night.
We have the Bobby D's Christmas
December 16th.
Spectacular coming up.
And it's great. I mean,
And
let's talk about
we
it.
actually started that last year at Mia's. It was a really big event. And we have the special guest Santa Claus comes.
Santa Claus is coming last year. Oh.
We invite all the
And
families to come.
that is the Santa Claus or
The Santa Claus.
Okay,
This is the Santa
You always
Claus.
specify. There's a lot of impersonators. Right?
No, this is the
No.
Santa Claus.
Oh,
Very,
no.
very good. Thank
And
you.
the kids have such a good time. We went last year.
And what I do is I put on a show, a floor show, but I also bring the kids up. We sing some
Oh,
Christmas
they have
songs,
a
and they just
ball.
have a good time.
They
And
really
then when
do.
Santa comes, it's like the whole place erupts, and Santa meets with all the kids, and he even takes pictures with all the adults.
Yes, and they have a new menu, and they have
Yes.
just great things going on there.
Yes.
And-
Where is that? Mia's?
Valley Stream.
31 Rockaway
There
Avenue,
we go.
Yes.
Valley Stream. It's going to be on December 16th.
And the Breakfast
Unfortunately, we're
Club
both
also?
working that night, Fred. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we will get to each other's shows eventually.
Well, I'd also, we were talking before, I would like to have you possibly perform
That would be
at our
great.
show because I could see the synergy between
Yes.
what you do and what we do.
Yes.
Perhaps next holiday,
I would be
we could
honored to
plan
do that.
something.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe Easter.
Yes.
well, no, next
next Christmas.
December.
Oh.
Because I do love the honeymooners also. Really.
Yeah.
We DVR them still, and we watch them when we.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we could see an episode for like the 50th time or the 100th, and me and Debbie just sit there and laugh. We
Yeah,
roll.
no.
Let me tell you, Pat and I, we know every line like the back of our hands.
Well, I
Yes.
figured
And
that.
one day we're reading, and we're going, and I'll just start laughing. He goes, "What?" I go, "He said blank," and it never dawned on me like
Right.
the way he said it or whatever. And I mean that happens all the time.
Well, every
And-
time we watch it, I always say to my wife, I turn to her and I say, "What an actor he is!"
Oh, yeah.
the facial expression.
He did. He was the
alone.
real deal.
I watch him to learn how to do facial expressions. He is the
Yes.
master of it.
Yes.
Pat, it's very challenging for Pat.
And
Yes.
We did "Oh My Aching Back" in the spring, which is the one where he throws his back out, and Uncle Leo comes in and hits him on the back, and
geez.
Pat was, Pat did an awesome job
does,
with it,
yeah.
but it's just the
Well,
facial,
Jackie
the
Gleason,
eyes, and everything.
his eyes almost. Watching it, his eyes almost like come out of his head.
Yeah.
That's
very, very
great.
talented person. Yeah.
Well, we're
But,
very happy about
if
all
we-
of this
if-
synergy
if
going
we
on.
If we do something like that, of course, I bring back the songs of that era, which would be great. And we could talk about how we want to produce it, direct it, write it, and all of that stuff.
No,
and how it's
that would be a
lay out,
blast.
yeah.
We've done "Twas the Night Before Christmas" now this year and in 2019 at the Views. So perhaps if we can get it on the road, we have to bring the set, so there is a transportation issue.
Yeah, you have
we
to
haven't
charge
done that
them
yet,
more,
but,
right.
but we
Right.
could do that.
Well, when you're ready to do that, let me know.
The main thing is you would need a venue with sufficient space for
Yes.
the set. It does take
Yes.
up some space.
But there is a lot of
Yeah, there's a
big
lot of
places
places,
that
yeah.
have it. So if you ever decide to do that,
Yeah, it's
Let
Well,
us
I
know. We can
appreciate-
help you.
I think we are a lot of like, and I want to mention Ray, my sound person.
Oh, Ray is the
McKnight.
greatest. We love
Everybody
him.
loves Ray, and Ray actually. I'm a little different from many people that do this. They'll come in with their sound system, and they start pushing the buttons and they sing the songs. I have a guy that actually runs the tracks for me, and we make up sets. We rehearse. It has because it's a show, and that's really how we run it.
Yeah,
and
you
Ray
do,
is
and it's
just
fabulous.
like Ray is just like that. Also, everything has to be
Perfect.
really
and is the nostalgia aspect worked into that to some
very
degree?
much so because I tell a lot of stories about
He
the-
talks
see,
too. Yeah.
Very
That's-
interesting what you said before, that when you have people that want to emulate the groups. Some of them look like them.
Right.
Some of them don't. See, I don't do that. The first part of my show is called Bobby Sings Bobby.
Yeah, I love that.
I am not trying to be Bobby Darin.
No,
I'm
but
not
you
trying-
do
I'm
a
not trying
great
to be
job.
Bobby Rydell. I'm Bobby me singing their songs.
Right.
And that's what I tell people.
Right.
But in between, I tell little caveat, little stories about each of the entertainers. For example, one story I always tell: when I was about 7 or 8 years old, my brother used to take me to the oldie shows in the movie theaters. Murray the K
Yeah.
used to run these shows, and they used to do like 3 shows a day. And between the shows, they used to show a movie. Well, true story. One time, I'm sitting there. I'm about 7 years old. Who sits next to me? Bobby V, the person who made "Take Good Care of My Baby," all of those hits back then. And he whispered to me. He says, "Aren't you a little too young to understand this music?" And I says, "No, mister, I love this music." So in the show, I say to people, who would imagine that over 50 years later, I'd be
You'd be still
one of their
singing,
songs,
right?
you know?
Yeah.
And then I tell these little stories about Bobby Rydell. For example, one story, the famous story is when Bobby Rydell was very big. He was in Bye Bye Birdie. He was huge back then in the early 60s. He was touring England. He was in a limousine, and they came to him and they said, Bobby, there's a tour bus in front of us. It's a local band. You want to go? They want to take a picture with you. And Bobby went, nah, I don't want to take a picture with them. You know who that local band was? England. Early 60s. The Beatles. It was the Beatles before they were known.
Wow.
And Bobby Rydell, before he passed away, he said it himself. He said, I never got my picture with the Beatles. So it's little story. People love those types of stories.
I've seen Motown groups do that where they play the songs, but in between they'll even have a soundtrack, and they'll just explain the things. Not only the interesting stories like that, but the social relevance of a lot of the music, where that music was making a statement that nowadays, we can look back on and realize how revolutionary it was and how it started the ball rolling in certain ways.
Definitely.
Especially with Motown, so I think that's great. And again, it resonates with the older crowd. It resonates with a younger crowd who is expansive enough to appreciate history and the relevance of history in terms of interpreting what goes on today through the past experience.
Well, there are a couple of songs I still do that young people appreciate, like Neil Diamond's "Sweet Caroline." Young people still like that. Yeah,
and they have
Neil Diamond's on Broadway.
He talks too. This is the new thing. People are talking and then singing, and they're also doing that with books. I'm an author. You talk about it, but you don't read. You talk, because they're actually giving classes on how to be a storyteller.
Well, can I say one thing? As you were speaking before, I was going to say you should be in a classroom, and then he said he's a college professor.
Yes.
I could tell right away.
Well,
because of your great storytelling.
What do you teach?
Exercise physiology.
Oh,
I'm a physiologist, but I will say my students may not agree, but I think I make it as colorful as exercise physiology can be. I try to, and it resonates well with students who are open-minded. Some others who are a little bit more
afraid of it,
buttoned up, maybe just don't understand why is he doing that, and it's just like. I'm trying to make it a little bit more.
But you are a great storyteller. I can tell that right off the bat, really.
So, Bob, now
many of them are true, also.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. So, you're going to be again December 17th at our other favorite
following
place,
night, La Focaccia. I call Sal Panetta's La Focaccia. Sal Panetta is one of the greatest people in this business. Mm-hmm. He's like Janine. He invites people into his restaurant. He's always you walk in there. And Sal is not the owner. He's there serving sodas, serving and walking around to all. But I'm saying he's not only the owner.
Yeah.
He's walking around talking to everybody at the tables.
Right.
He loves the oldie groups. He loves the music, and
he's very friendly, which is so important at a restaurant. You need that maitre d' thing going
again, another restaurant. His prices are right, and the food is good.
And we have a good time when we go there too.
I found out a couple of weeks ago. My wife and I went in for dinner, and he sat with us. And he's in business 41 years, Sal. And he said a line that was very interesting to me. And he said, "Bob, I'm going to tell you something." He said, if I have to depend on you, the entertainer, to bring in business, I should not be in business. I said, Sal, thank you.
But not everybody feels that way.
No, but I know. But it's a what he's saying is, if I'm not bringing, if I'm not bringing the people in with my food and my atmosphere, why should I have an entertainer? Exactly. So that's what he's saying, and he does.
So how do they make reservations for that?
They
call La
Focaccia, yes.
Right.
I don't know the number offhand. If you have the flyer there.
Yeah, I don't have the number on there, though. Oh, I do. Here it is, yes.
No, I
don't. What's the number, Susan?
What's the number, Susan? Let's give the number for that also.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
great
let's first
night
give
out.
the number for Mia's. Mia's, I know, is 516-825-2117. Is that correct?
825-2117. Yep,
yes, that's Mia's. And Mia's is located at 31 Rockaway Avenue.
Right.
It's going to be a great night, December 16th. It starts at 6:30. It's an early night because we are inviting everyone to bring their families, the kids. Santa Claus will be there.
It's a lot of fun, guys. You don't want to miss it.
There's going to be some handouts, and things of just a very festive mood that night. I'll be singing a lot of Christmas songs that night, and of course my oldie songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
And
And
then
we're going to be enjoying it.
And then the following night we'll be at La Focaccia in Levittown. Great place because everybody there just gets up and keeps dancing.
Yeah,
they dance
is.
to every song,
It's a
which
lot
is
of fun.
it really makes the entertainment a lot of fun.
Another thing I want to bring up is I'm working with a client, the LongIslandOpera.org. And I am so happy. They're in today's Newsday, page A17. This is a group of people that had a huge opera group, and during the pandemic, they got shut down. And now they are doing these beautiful operettas, twice a month in a gorgeous church in East Northport, Northport. And they're one of my clients. And Greg, my co-host, wound up being their maitre d' and talking about the opera before everyone sings.
Wow.
And it's not the whole opera, but it's like an excerpt from this one. And then Greg
Very
will get up
interesting.
and talk, and then there's another excerpt. So it's not like you're sitting through a whole opera. You're sitting through a little bit knowledge on each one.
Yeah.
Now,
It's in a
hopefully, that's
beautiful
something that young
church.
people will go to
Yes.
appreciate the opera, right?
And it's in
So
St.
that
Paul's
they're in-
Methodist Church. They came to the show. They came to me. I got them as a client. I do, PR on the side. And I was like, they go, we want Newsday. I'm like, well, that's not easy to get. It's a very hard, it's a hard sale.
Yeah.
But I got them in.
Got him in. Wow.
And they are like bouncing off the walls this morning. They are so happy. And really, it's a nice piece.
Yeah,
If
it's a
anybody
full
wants
page,
to
and
read
it's,
it's called...
you got a nice photo in
Yeah,
it and everything.
Soaring Sounds, and it's LongIslandOpera.org. And I'll be there on Friday. Greg won't be. He won't be at this one. But let me tell you, it's $10 to see opera. And so you could afford to go on the main street there and have a very nice
Right.
drink and a snack. There are about 17 restaurants right near the church.
And it's in Northport?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful
It's
town.
a great night out. It's a cheap date night. And, we'll be there. So if you want to stop by Friday night, anyone out there, do it because
We have to get the honeymooners in Newsday.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
and having been in a position where we shut down we had shows scheduled in spring of 2020. We had that yacht club show and we had the honeymooners show that we've now done both of those in the spring of this year. At any rate, we were 2 weeks out from the yacht club show, and that's when everything came to a halt. And having been in a position where you had to go dark for 2 years,
that's why they came to me.
trust me when I tell you, these performers, if they're normally great, they're going to be great plus.
Right.
Because
Yes, they
I know
wanna
when I
be
got
out
back
there.
on stage, it was like, boy, this, everything. I think with COVID, we appreciate things so much more than
definitely.
we did. And when I got on stage, I was just like, thank God I'm back here,
Yes.
and we can get some people to actually come and actually
Yes.
watch us without being afraid of going
Right.
out,
Exactly.
etc.
And as a PR rep, I do that as a consultant. I get a kick out of it because I used to work in editorial. So I know how hard it is to talk to editors. It's not easy. So when it happens, I'm like, hey, God, I feel like I'm back at work. Because I was laid off. That's what my book is about. Life after 50, after you get the big bad boot.
Do you
My
really?
book is called From Fire to Freedom. Here it
Luckily,
is.
I've never had a real job, so I've
Yeah,
never
well,
been
see, this is
booted.
my book.
As long as Janine doesn't boot me, then I'm okay.
It's
You're
called
all
From
right.
Fire to Freedom.
Okay.
There are 69 women in my book that got fired because of their age, their salary, and that they were intelligent. And this book is a great Christmas gift. It has real stories. It's from lemons to lemonade up. It's a $20 gift for Christmas. Anyone, man or woman, will enjoy it. And I love this. My goal is someday it's going to be a movie called not The Breakfast Club like years ago. It's going to be my Long Island Breakfast Club. And everyone in the book is over between now. We started at 50. Now we're in our 60s. And The Breakfast Club was a huge hit many years ago.
Sure.
And they came to our meeting. They're on my website, the pictures of all the stars from The Breakfast Club, because they wanted to know who we were.
Yeah.
And so that's the story of this.
It sounds like a good book for people who have had that happen to them.
Yes, and there's
to
a lot
read,
of us.
to get things put into perspective, because I'm sure that's a very discouraging, especially when you're still good at what you do.
Right.
Yes, and for me, I worked at a huge company. There was 27 magazines, and I worked for the big boy. He dumped on Bill Gates' toilet. That's what my boss, okay? It was technology. But again, I learned so much. And when I first started working in editorial at a magazine, I was afraid because they talk like they're tough. And I didn't know how to handle it. But as I watched, and I sat behind the king, and nobody got past me to go to the king. So I heard everything, and I took it all in. So I never thought I'd be writing 2 books. This is my second book. So,
like I said, it sounds like therapeutic for somebody who's been through that to realize that this is not just happening to me. This is happening to a lot of people, and it's no reflection on my incompetence due to age. It's just the fact that you're older. I often say, these days we're very aware of
everything.
Discrimination against a lot of different things, but one thing I think you still get a lot of discrimination against is age.
Oh, you do.
It's just natural. You look at somebody who's older and you just think, well, they're probably on their
There were some funny stories.
On their last legs, kind of.
There were funny stories too. You'd have no idea the interview stories that they're in there. But
I will say one thing. I
book.
think the baby boomers are saving a lot of businesses today.
Oh yeah, because now they're getting us
with the knowledge, the background. I'm still doing a lot of work. I'm a professor at Manhattan College.
Oh, okay.
I teach leadership courses, and
he's great.
I worked for Con Edison for many years, and I am back also actually teaching online courses for them.
Great.
So still going strong,
Well,
let me just mention La Focaccia's phone number before we forget.
Yes.
If you want to make a reservation for Saturday, December 17th, and La Focaccia is noted as the place to be. That's what we all say. La Focaccia, the place to be. You can make reservations by calling 516-796-4461.
And Jerry Ferretti, the filmmaker, is watching. He said
Hi, Jerry.
Fontanas are in the house. And Paul says it looks like the Fontanas are in the house. And Isabella from the opera says thank you for the plug. We are so excited about the article, excited about Friday night.
Break a leg, Isabella.
Isabella, I'm so happy it happened. You don't know.
Welcome back to the stage.
This is right. So today, we do this every show, there are national days. Do you know what today is?
I have no idea.
Today, you're going to be cracking up. No. Is bathtub party day.
Okay.
I say, so it's a unique day that is always celebrated on the 5th. Yes, it's a holiday for the bathtub. Okay.
Do we have a bathtub in this facility?
No, we don't. But I would think that the bathtub party day is for kids.
We were all going to get into the bathtub.
I was going to say,
it could be for adults.
What the heck,
In the, what do you call those things? The way they have the tubs outside. What is it?
Bathtub.
Yeah.
What is it called? Bathtub party day?
Today's bathtub party day.
Okay.
And it's also something that's
to each his own.
Yeah. Very dear to me is it's volunteer day.
Okay.
And let me tell you.
That's a little bit more
when you volunteer, your life is going to grow.
Absolutely.
And every person that I help get a job, they got it because they volunteered. And my thing on that is if you volunteer, you will be standing next to or sitting next to someone that wants to be there.
Right.
Not that has to be there. And your entree will grow and you will meet great people. That's my take on it. Because I've been volunteering since I lost my job. And then I got another job. And then I got fired again. So I made a career out of getting fired. And that's what this book is about.
I think it's karma too. I mean, when you do unto others, they do. It is. Maybe it's that simple.
My best.
And these days, I think that message has become.
Now my best line in Bat Boy, right?
Yes. What is it?
You're fired.
You're fired. That's right. So, and the other thing is this week there's going to be a very brand new place opening up in New Hyde Park. It's called the Hair Bar, and they're going to be coming on next week. And very excited. We're doing their grand opening. The politicians are coming. We're cutting the ribbon, so you got to come with Debbie for coffee. Free breakfast.
Okay.
And
I'll look up the date.
Yeah, it's on Jericho Turnpike in New Hyde Park, and we do that too. We do grand openings, celebrations. We bring the politicians, and
this facility is what? What do they do?
It's a hair,
a
nail, massage, Botox. I'm not getting any Botox in my lips.
They do it all.
But I got to tell you something. Women like to do the Botox. I'd be afraid that I'm going to blow up like a balloon. What do you think of big lips?
I've seen some in the sport that I was involved in, bodybuilding. They get it, and quite frankly, I think if I was born with the lips that look like that, I would have had the procedure done to make them look normal. But that's how I am. To me, the unnatural look just doesn't cut
Right.
Very
it.
popular.
But,
But we also have one more thing I want to talk about, which is my old friend Anthony Rodia. He's a big comedian. I started out at Gov's many years ago, and that was after a loss. I was so depressed. I had to make some fun out of everything. So I started this show there 3 years ago until I grew. And Anthony started there. Well, Anthony's a big shot now, so he's playing at Westbury Music Fair this Saturday at 8 o'clock. He is the most funny Italian comic there is. So if you guys want to go see it, it's Anthony Rodia at Westbury Saturday. And the last thing,
Valentina, from what I'm hearing about you, I'm getting the impression that you were able to take the downturns of your life and turn it into a positive.
I was.
And I think that's something that really, signals out people who are successful.
Right.
Because
Right.
we're all going to have, that's the problem. Everybody gets a trophy nowadays, and that's not life. So you have to learn not to get depressed that you're down, when you have your down times. If you lose a job, then that could be the step that brings you to the next place.
Well, it takes a little bit, right? But then if you surround yourself with people that also had this happen to, you become the leader because you're a little further above them now.
If you're a leadership type of person, which
Yeah.
I can tell you are.
Yeah.
So,
I
you have
love
to be
helping
somebody who
people.
takes the bull by the horns.
That's right.
And now everyone in my book wrote a book because we publish books at the
There you
Breakfast
go.
Club. So again, it's just, and now because of the book, I met Jerry Ferretti. I'm in 3 independent films. So now I bring people into the films because that's how you grow.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited about our show, The Fontanas.
Sometimes, if you're like that, the one challenge is there's not enough hours in the day.
Well, it's true. I'm very busy. You know that. But you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to end today's show with the gift of giving. Give out of love, not obligation. Give where it's least expected. Give from your heart. Give to show you care. And give to be the difference. And that's the show today. But I wanted to give you, everyone on our show gets Italian bread. Because I break bread with everyone. That's how I make relationships.
Excellent. Beautiful.
This is for you.
Lunchtime is here.
For your bar.
Very nice.
Because people will say, what is the Long Island Breakfast Club show? Well, all you have to do is go to G's or go to YouTube and click on it.
Beautiful.
And everyone at your bar is going to be seeing you because I'm going to make that nice gentleman, Ricky, put it up on the bar.
I hope they don't have apples and eggs to throw at the screen.
And this is the way I do marketing. So if you ever need it, you let me know.
Okay, very good. I like the idea of that. We need marketing.
Let me tell you something.
We need marketing.
This is the key to marketing. Because if you give everybody a card this big, guess what? It goes right in the garbage. They don't throw this out. They use it as a bookmark.
Here's how good a marketer I am of our group. When you had to fill the form out before, I didn't know our phone number. I had to have Justin or Jason over there look it up for me. There was a little ambiguity on his name. So Justin, is it Justin or Jason? Justin, but he's answering to Jason too.
Donna Morales is calling, and she's an actress. She loves what you're doing.
Well,
Thanks, Donna. Come down.
Like you, Valentina.
Donna, we got parts for you. Come.
Donna, come down. See?
Come down.
A lot of people say to me, "Can I have your card when I'm
Yes,
performing?"
and yours is
so I
beautiful.
hand them this, and they go, "Wow!" I said, "You'll never throw that one out."
It's true.
I can read it too. The other ones I can't read at this stage of the
very
game.
true.
Thank you.
But today's show is brought to you by these 2 sponsors, terrific people, The View Grill, Bob D'Amato, and Mia's Italian Restaurant. It's also brought to you by the Tranquility Spa, who I do their marketing. It's right down the block. And they are great. Their spa treatments are $44 with the tip. You can't get a massage for that anywhere where you live.
The problem here is we got spas, we got hair, nails. Got something that Bob and I can go to?
Well, he goes.
I don't know about you, Bob, but my nails, my hair, I'm not so concerned with that
Bob
these
goes
days.
to the spa. He does. It's very nice for me.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll join you one day, Bob.
Yeah.
We'll have a blast over there.
Did you ever go to a soul cave?
No.
Well,
no,
wait, you
that's-
got to go to the
no,
Tranquility Spa.
No.
It's great.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
I don't know. That's
I
not-
know when I go see the honeymooners, I'm going to be laughing and
Oh,
rolling with
yeah.
them. I know it.
Definitely.
I
And
get it.
also, Teddy and Christina from Oro Puro Jewelers, the greatest on Hempstead Turnpike. You need a gift for Janine? You go see Teddy. You tell him
Oh,
you saw it
that's
on
useful.
the show.
Yeah.
You tell him Valentina sent you. Treats you like God. I go there and I get treated. But I walk in the door, they have cappuccino waiting for me. It's a great place. Most of our vendors and sponsors are people helping people. That's what this show's about. And I love this show.
Old school.
It is, but it is a struggle. We want everyone to watch, like, and share. If you know anyone that needs me, tell them about us. We're simple people. We're easy. PR companies, guess what? They're going to charge you $5,000 just to sign the paper. They do nothing for you for 3 months. Me, this company, we do it, you pay us. We do it, you pay us. That's how we work. In this market, that's the only way to work. You can't expect, big things from people right away. Mm-hmm. So on that note, what do you think? Good show, right?
I think it was a great show.
I miss you, Greg. Please call
Greg?
us later. Share the show because I need you.
And December 16th, Be It Me's for the Great Christmas Spectacular. See you there.
Let's go on Saturday when I'm
16th
there.
and 17th, the honeymooners.
16th and 17th. I think, you guys are going to have a busy weekend that week, but
We're going to
you
be
got to
at
get
both.
to Bob and you got to get to us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
we're
that
coming to
simple. You
both.
just have to.
That's it.
We're coming to both. You
One
can't
way or
keep
the
us
other.
away. And we're really excited. And, they know already over there what my favorite drink is. Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
And Susan, what is your favorite
We'll,
drink?
we'll line them up.
What's your favorite drink, Susan? She switches a lot.
Yeah.
What is it?
Captain Morgan rum and ginger ale.
Wow.
Yeah, there
The
you
only thing
go.
you guys got to drink after the show. We want you to enjoy the show, then you can get loaded.
Is this a wrap yet? Did we
No,
wrap
it
up?
is. It
It
is
is a wrap.